What's going on? What's going on? What's up? What's up? Ryan Loede here, coming to you live from sunny Isles Beach, Miami, Florida. Hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day. Starting off the rest of their week with a lot of momentum, right? Because hey, it's Saturday tomorrow. I believe so. Today's Friday. Moving into the weekend. Are we going to get weak on the weekends, or are we going to continue with that forward progression that we've built throughout the week, right? Continue with that momentum. But hey, before I go any further, if you don't know me, take full responsibility. My name's Ryan Loede, building a 9-figure insurance agency and helping everyday Americans create a multiple 6-figure residual income within their first year here at LC Financial Group. If you want to learn more about what partnering with us here at LC Financial Group would look like, DM me, comment below, reach out to any of our partners, or send an email to careers@teamlcfg.com. That's careers with an S at teamlcfg.com. We're talking about communication today. The reason I want to bring this to you guys is because we had a team training. We were doing some live dials for a lot of our newer partners that are onboarding within our organization. We were doing a team training, and you know, the importance of communication came up, and I was explaining to my team, my organization, some of the new partners, the importance of communication and how important it is to be able to communicate and to be able to get your intention through to another individual, right? Because communication is basically getting a wave through from one person to another, right? And if you can't get your communication through to another individual, they're not going to be able to, receive that communication. And ultimately, if you don't have intention with your communication, you're not going to get another individual's attention. So you got to have intention to grab and to pull attention, right? So communication is big. I think it's ultimately one of the most important facets to creating success and to creating the life that you desire. Because hey, for me personally, when I was in high school, I could not communicate. I was very shy. Hey, sometimes I still even am. And I was an introvert, right? I wasn't able to get in front of the camera like I am right now. I wasn't able to, speak to people, in like a public setting. I wasn't able to go up to strangers, right? So being able to communicate is very, very, very important. We're going to clear this word really quick. We're going to look at communicate here on Google. Communicate, the exchanging of information or news. So being able to exchange information, exchange ideas, exchange, steps and directions, and give clear orders and guidelines, whether you're an executive or a leader, right? Communication, the means of sending or receiving information such as phone lines or computers, right? And that's what communication is. It's going from one person to another person, right? So we're going to talk about 5 steps to mastering communication. 5 steps to mastering communication. Because hey, if you're a salesperson, or maybe you're a leader, an executive as a sales team, your people need to know how to communicate. You need to know how to communicate. You're making phone calls. Hey, if your communication is not at that level that it should be, if you're not a master at communication, if you're not a professional at communication, then you're going to have a hard time closing deals. Yes, there's going to be those deals that you can close if they're laydowns, if they're just ready to buy. But hey, we need to figure out how we can get that other 30, 40, 50% of deals that many people can't get because they're not communicating properly. So 5 steps of communication, right? That's what we're going to be talking about. 5 steps to master communication. Because hey, anything that we do in our life, we want to be able to master it. We want to become the best that we can be. And that should be our intention of everything that we do in life, is to master everything that we do in life. So communication, number 1, it starts with acknowledgement. And this is something that I see a lot of individuals have a hard time doing. Say for example, hey, a client tells me, hey, they're not interested. I don't want to buy, I don't want to speak, I don't have time, whatever it might be, what's the first thing you have to do? The first thing that you have to do is acknowledge what they are saying. Let them know that they're heard. Let them know that you have received what they are saying, right? Hey, I'm with you. Hey, I understand. Hey, I hear you. Let's move forward, right? So those acknowledgments are very, very, very important if you want to master communication. Like say for example, hey, you got a spouse and they're like, man, I don't want to go out to eat tonight, honey. I want to stay in. Absolutely. I'm with you. I understand. We're going to go out to eat and then we'll be able to hang out. We'll be able to go back and stay in, right? Whatever it might be, right? You got to be able to acknowledge the communication. You got to be able to acknowledge what another individual is saying to you. Let them know that they're heard. Let them know that you understand. Let them know that you're not just brushing them off, right? So you have to acknowledge, right? You don't want to over acknowledge. You don't want to say, oh, I understand, when someone says like, oh, I hate this day or whatever it might be, like, oh, I want to kill myself, whatever crazy scenario it might be. You don't want to over acknowledge this. You don't want to be like, oh, I understand, when you don't really understand, right? You got to find another type of acknowledgement. I agree with you. You're right. I understand, right? Whatever the acknowledgement might be, you got to get these acknowledgements in if you want to master communication. So got to have those acknowledgements in if you want to master communication. And then number two is handling what an individual says, which is basically handling what we call originations. So what is that? So you're trying to move a client, let's put this in a sales perspective. You're trying to move a client to purchase your product or service that you're offering. Or maybe you're trying to set up an appointment. You're trying to set up an appointment with the client or a potential buyer. And you're trying to set up the appointment. Hey, would 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. work better for you? And they say, well, they say something completely other than 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Right? So they're like, no, I have a doctor's appointment, or, what are we even talking about? Or, I'm busy right now. Why are you calling me? Or I'm busy, right? So you got to be able to handle their origination. So origination, we're actually going to clear this word here really quick. Origination is something that someone says that is completely other than what you were looking to hear. So originations, they're developing something or causing it to happen. So originations, it's the beginning or creation of something, right? So they're saying something other than the answer that you're looking to hear, right? So you ask them to close, they're like, I need to think about it. I need to talk it over with someone. You're asking them to close and they're like, hey, this is a great one. You're asking them to close and they're like, my food just got ready, right? Oh, you hear that buzzer go off. My food's ready now. So how do you handle that, right? Number one, you got to acknowledge it. Whoa, I'm with you. I hear you. I think I heard it as well. And then you have to handle the origination. You have to handle it, right? So how do you handle it? You got to be able to pivot, and you got to be able to adjust. Like, hey, I'm with you. I hear you. Let's get to that later. Let's continue to move forward with making this purchase. Let's continue to move forward with setting this appointment, whatever it might be. So being able to acknowledge what they're saying, let them know that they're being heard, let them know that you understand, let them know that you've received their communication, and then you have to handle the origination. Then you have to handle the origination. And number three, I was talking about this earlier. Number three is intention. You got to have a clear-cut intention. A lot of salespeople, hey, my intention of this call is to bang. My intention of this call is to X. My intention of this call is to set up an appointment with you. My intention of this call is to share with you what our product does, what our service does, and to give you the information that you need to make a decision today or to make a decision by tomorrow, right? My intention of this call is to close you, right? You want to be direct like that, but you got to let them know 5 steps of communication. To master communication, you got to have a clear-cut intention, right? Because as I was saying earlier, if you don't have your intention in, you're not going to be able to get another individual's attention. So, hey, you can say things, but you're not getting the intention through. You could say things, but you're just saying it, right? You're really just saying what you're saying instead of like really you have like an affinity with it. You have the ability to pass that communication over to someone else. Like, say for example, hey, I got another individual telling me about how their day went bad, or how they had some type of upset, and they're telling me, like, I'll be able to feel that because with the way in which they're communicating it, their tone level, right? Whereas like, hey, like you gotta just be able to clearly put through your intention. Clearly put through your intention and to make sure that it gets through to the other individual. If someone's not hearing you, or someone's not acknowledging you, or someone's not receiving what you're saying, then your intention is not where it should be, right? And then number four, so we're talking about 5 steps of master communication. Number 1, it's acknowledgement. Number 2, it's handling originations. When someone creates something and tells you something other than, the answer that you're looking for. And then number 3 is to have your intention in, to make sure that your intention is in the right place. And then number 4 is having control. Now, a lot of people don't like this word. A lot of people don't like the word control because there's a lot of bad control out there. But when you have good control of the communication, it's going to get you more results, and it's going to get you the outcomes that you desire. So for a sales call, for example, you got to have control of the sales call. You got to be able to, understand what the buyer is saying, understand what the client is saying. You got to be able to handle their originations and have control with that. You got to have control with getting your intention through, and you got to have control with everything that they tell you. You got to have control of moving them from point A, you just started speaking with them, to point B, which is, hey, they got your product, they got your service, right? So having control, very, very important. And number 5 is closing. Close/move forward. So close and move forward. So, hey, I acknowledge them, right? They said, hey, they gave me an origination. I'm tired. I don't have time. I'm not interested. I don't want to buy. I've already spoke to someone about this. I have no money, whatever it might be. Hey, I understand. I'm with you. I hear you. You're right. I agree. I'll handle it, right? Whatever the acknowledgement is, you got to acknowledge it. Then you got to handle the origination. Hey, I'm with you. Hey, buyer says, client says, I'm not interested. I'm with you. I understand. My job is to simply get you the information so you can make a clear decision. My job is to get you enough information regarding X, Y, and Z product so you can come with a clear decision at the end of this call, right? And then you got to give your intention, right? So, hey, I'm with you. I agree. I hear you. My intention of this call is to get you the information that you need to make a clear, sound decision by the end of this call. And then boom, you have control. You have good control there. And then you close and move forward. So let's move forward. My intention of this call is to give you enough information so you can see if this would be a good decision for you. So you can understand that this is going to be a good decision for you. Let's move forward with the process. Let's continue to move forward. And then boom, you move into your sales process. So 5 steps to master communication. Communication's everything. Very, very important, very vital. And I was just thinking about this today because we had a live training call. And while just sharing with the new partners that are joining our organization here at LLC Financial Group about the importance of communication, having clear communication, being able to get what you're saying through to another individual by having intention, being able to have an individual hear you by acknowledging them, by having acknowledgement, being able to have great control, because hey, a lot of times salespeople, and you know, this could even apply to just normal conversations with an individual in your life, a friend, a family member, a spouse, you know, a work associate, right? A lot of individuals don't have good control. They're not able to control the communication cycle. They're not able to control, you know, the communication from one to another, right? And then being able to close or move forward. Being able to move forward, right? Buyer says, I'm not interested, or you know, your friend says, I don't want to go do whatever you want to go do. I don't want to, you know, go out tonight and get food. Hey, I hear you. I'm with you. We're gonna have some great opportunities to meet other individuals by networking and getting out and being seen. Let's try it out. Let's move forward, and we'll see how it goes, right? Boom. And then, hey, they're gonna be more open and more receptive to what you're saying. You ever deal with a client or a friend or a family member that's just very closed off with your communication? It's, you know, more than likely you didn't acknowledge them. You didn't handle whatever they said to you, their origination. You didn't have clear-cut intention. You didn't have control, and you didn't move forward. So communication's huge. Hope this helped you out. Hope you can execute and apply this in your life. And you know, most of these individuals and most of you guys are in sales, so you got to master communication. You got to master the ability to communicate, the ability to get your ideas or, you know, what you're saying to another individual through to them so they can hear it, and so they'd be more receptive and more open to what you're telling them. So master communication, 5 steps to master communication: acknowledgement. Number 2, handle originations. Number 3, intention. Number 4, control. Number 5, close or move forward. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Ryan Loede here. Hey, if you want to learn more tips like this and what I've done to create the success I've achieved in my life and how I'm helping a lot of our partners here at LC Financial Group do the same thing. If you want to learn more tips, send me an email, ryan@ryanloede.com, ryan@ryanloede.com. Send me an email or DM me, comment below. More than happy to help. You guys have a great rest of your day. Let's go.